Hey everybody. So we got quite a few comments on the last videos from people who wanted to see a modular approach or modular workflow when it comes to Hypnotic and raw techno. And we all know if you want to dive into the world of modular synthesis, it's a path that involves a relatively steep learning curve, and B, it is also not cheap. So be prepared to sink quite a lot of money into your modular synth if you want to go down that route. Doesn't have to be that way though, because luckily there's something called VCV Rack, and that's a free alternative which you can download right now. The version I'm using today is a paid version, but the only difference is that you can use it as a plugin within ABLETON, and you don't even need that version because the free version also gives you the tools to connect to ABLETON, like ABLETON Link, and other stuff, including sync and audio from and to VCV without the need to purchase the pro version. I just pulled this up for convenience today. So before we start, I'm going to assume you know the basics of synthesis structure. So you know what envelopes are, you know what a filter is, you know what an oscillator is, blah, 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 all that stuff. If you don't, however, let me know in the comments below, and we'll figure out if there is a need for a complete beginner tutorial at some point. And also let me know if you want to see more of this kind of video, because the patch I'm going to show you today is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more possible within VCV. So one of the incredible cool things about VCV Rack is that there are quite a lot of hardware manufacturers and Euro rack companies who offer exact versions of their modules in software form. For example, Instru, the whole mutable instruments range, and many more. And some of them you can pay for as an add-on, but some of them are also completely free of charge. For example, the stuff I'm going to use today is completely free of charge, and we're going to use modules from ErikaSynths. So our patch today is sequenced with my trusty ML185 Max for Life sequencer, and I could have also used one of the internal sequencers in VCV Rack, but I chose to use the 185 anyway because it's just so much fun to randomize the shit out of it, and it's very quick to get usable results. So in order to use the sequencer, the first thing I had to do was put in a MIDI utility module in VCV Rack. And that translates all of my gates, my pitch information, and also transfers the clock from ABLETON into our rack. So you can see over here my volt per octave is going into my pitch input on the oscillator, which is the Black Wavetable VCO by ErikaSynths. Fucking amazing VCO, by the way, because there's so much sonic ground you can cover with this, and it has 16 banks of really, really nice wavetables. You have this wavetable knob here where you can scan through your wavetable. But before I explain the oscillator, let me quickly finish with the MIDI to CV. So my gate from the sequencer comes from this interface here and goes into the gate input on my ADSR envelope. That envelope is opening my VCA. That VCA is going into this reverb right here, and then from there we go into our audio output, and that is picked up by ABLETON on the track we're on. The velocity output, by the way, is also used, but I'm going to use this for modulation. We also receive ABLETON's clock, and that is going into the clock of another sequencer, and this sequencer is only used for modulation of other parameters within our patch. Let's listen to the raw oscillator sound. So that's some beefy stuff already, and it's one of the first wavetables in the first bank. And if you know ABLETON's wavetable, you're already familiar with the concept of wavetable synthesis. You have this knob here, which is just the wavetable position. Then we have a dedicated CV to automate this knob. Then we have a bit crusher built in. And we also have this CV level right here, which we can route to different destinations within the plugin. So if I right click, we can send this CV to crush to the bank. So it's gonna change the bank to the FM amount or to the built-in VCA, and today I chose to send it to the bank. So the first thing to explain will be I have these little utility modules here scattered throughout my rack. I have 1, 2, 3 of them, and these are called attenuators. So whatever modulation signal I send into these can be attenuated. That means you don't have to use the full force of the modulation, and you can adjust the amount on the module itself. So let's have a listen to our sequence again, and our first attenuator is getting fed by the velocity input from my sequencer. So if we look at the velocity line here, you can see there are all these different values, and the velocity is now a modulation signal that will change my wave CV, which means it will change the position of my wavetable. So already there's a lot more movement going on. Next up, I pulled in a sequencer from within the VCV library, and this sequencer is just running for 8 steps and with half speed. It's getting the clock here through a clock divider. And the output goes into another attenuator. And then from there, it goes into our CV in input on the oscillator, which, remember, is routed to the bank. Let's have a listen. And then I have a third attenuator. And by the way, these are double attenuators. So you have 2 signals coming in and out. And these are getting fed by this LFO here. This is the Black Octasource LFO, also by Ericasense. Fantastic wavetable LFO. And we're feeding 2 of the LFO signals into another attenuator. And from there, we are modulating our attack and decay phase on the ADSR. Let's just play around a little bit with the sequencer and also with the wave knob and the bank button, just to show off how flexible this setup is. So hopefully it came across why I'm such a huge fan of modular and the Eurorack world in general, because it lends itself so well to make techno, in my opinion. And again, let me know if you want to see more videos about this particular topic, because I can imagine doing a whole series on this. There is so much to explore within VCV Rack. There are tons of modules, sequencers, oscillators, filters, effects. Oh, by the way, we didn't even use a filter today because we didn't need one. But yeah, like I said, a whole world is opening up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more. But for today, I'm out. As usual, check our website, sine.de, and I'm going to see you soon. Take care.